We are going to do a video, or more than one video, on a unique Bible. What is unique about it is that it is a translation different from most others. It's a dynamic translation. That is, it wants to get all the words in there that fill the meaning as much as possible. And it's also a translation that adds words that aren't necessarily in the text, but emphasize particular meanings of the text culturally and within the framework of the particular book that was written. Also, the way it's done, and not only in translation, but the way it's presented on the page, is almost what you would call a screenplay. In other words, when you're going through a book in the Bible, as you'll know, many people will be speaking. And what this one does, those who are speaking, it puts their name right before they speak. And sometimes they'll have a parenthesis after, say, speaking to so-and-so or such a group. So that makes it much easier to see what's going on. And another thing it has in it, it's not notes on the bottom of a page, which many Bibles has, as we've seen before, but this has in-text notes that are part of giving you a deeper insight into a particular part of what is being read as biblical text. Now, I'm saying I have two of these, which I do. Now, they're the same Bible as far as translation and those in-text notes and the film edition of that, so you know who's speaking and to whom. But they'd have different names and different publishers, although they were both published in the very same year, 2012. And what's interesting, not only is that they had many translators working on it, but they also had musicians and poets working on it at the same time so that they could get in the kind of dynamic that the particular book of the Bible had. For example, if it's a psalm that was sung, which many of them were, of course, those who were musicians and poets also put them together in that way so that it could be read as if it were sung. It has that dynamic in the verse and that equivalent to that kind of thing. And the way it's actually written out, you can see which things belong to the same verse, only they're put inside of the text towards the right a little bit so you can see that all belongs together, and you can sort of, while you're hearing it, you can read it, and you can hear, when you're reading it, you can hear it. I said the wrong thing backwards. But anyway, but there are two editions, and it's interesting because now I will show you the cover of this one because the cover doesn't show much, but this is called the Compass Bible. Now, of course, Compass is very interesting because the Compass Bible, we use a compass for navigating. So this one says, the Compass, the study Bible for navigating your life. Now, that's certainly true. Now, what the Compass Bible itself looks like on the outside, you simply have the compass on the outside and you don't have anything else except on this side. Now, it also interestingly says on the back of it, it doesn't just say the Compass Bible, but you'll notice also down here it says the voice. How interesting. Because this one I have here, which is in large print, happens to be the Voice Bible, as you can see right there. Step into the story of Scripture by Ecclesia, Ecclesia Bible Society. Now, that's done by the Ecclesia Bible Society. And this one here, which is called the Compass Bible, is done by Thomas Nelson. Okay? So this is the Thomas Nelson publishing company. As I say, and that's the difference there. But there are other differences as well. But basically, what we have in here, if you take a look inside, for example, let's see, I want to find the same thing in both books so that I can give you a sample of that. Let's take a look, for example, at Joshua, the book of Joshua, chapter 18. Okay, let's take a look at Joshua chapter 18, and we can see that we might want to find the same pages so we can show you exactly how they look, one and the other. So I will do that where we will have Joshua 18 and certain verses. Now, the verses are also marked out, but it's small print, so it's hard to see them. But it is so that, of course, you can get a look at what each verse looks like. So as we continue this, we will mark this as the Voice Bible when we actually give it a name for this particular video, although it's also the Compass. But we will show these two together and show you what's the same and what's different in both of them.